credit transfer. Just in Kingston, of course, we have St. Lawrence College, we have Queens, and I would tell you there's very little credit transfer going on between those two institutions. The other comment that struck me was the fact of, I heard twice about students making choices. And I would like to suggest that it's not students that are making choices, it's their parents. And from grade 9 on, parents are saying to us, my daughter, my son, I want them to go to university. College is not on the map for them. College is someplace students go if they can't get into a university. It leads to them making very poor choices of course selections at the secondary level, and disappointment at the end of where they're going, being in the wrong place, and then having difficulty transferring. Has there been any thought about, I'll use the word marketing, and making the college option much more attractive and equal to the university option?
Thank you for the question. That's fantastic. I'm going to probably give Andy first crack at this one.
Thanks very much for both your comments and sort of affirmation of some of the issues and suggestion. I think you're absolutely right. It is the parents who have a huge influence on the choices. Even if you look at the guidance counselors that exist within the high schools, many of them are teachers, former teachers who were trained within the university sector, and so they don't possibly understand the range of opportunities that are available within the college sector. I can tell you that I meet dozens of students every semester who have started off at university because their parents wanted them to go there. They weren't happy because it wasn't the passion that they were wanting to pursue. And then they come to college to pursue that, and then I actually recently met an MIT engineering grad talking about more engineering students who was studying in our culinary program because she always wanted to be a chef. So once she completed a credential that her parents wanted her to do, she felt she had the moral authority or the maturity, I guess, to pursue her dreams. We have been attempting to educate. We spend a lot of time educating guidance counselors, especially. We have a session coming up this week with guidance counselors from all over the Greater Toronto area, where we are trying to educate them and ensure they understand the types of options that are available. Societal attitudes take a long time to change, and I think we can only change them by continuing to tell the stories. I think you'd find colleges across the system do try and tell as many graduate stories as they can to show the range of options that are available for the graduates of the system. I think we have undertaken marketing campaigns as a system. Colleges Ontario has been doing that now for a couple of years, just to open people's eyes and awareness. And I can't comment on what it would actually take to finally change those attitudes, but obviously any support, and maybe if we actually did have more of a system where there was more of a pathway for students so that nothing is considered a dead end in terms of a credential, I think that would go a long way. And sometimes students maybe just need that extra time, and college is the great first step, but we want to make sure that they don't have a terminal credential at the end of it and that they can continue to pursue further studies.
Thanks, Anna. That's great. I think it's not just the college and universities that have responsibility for this, but it's probably also the secondary system as well. And, we need to make sure our guidance counselors are giving the right advice and using things like career studies classes to ensure that students understand the pathway that's right for them. So, go ahead.
My name is Maxim Jean-Louis, and I work at Contact North, and I'm sure Sheldon would expect me to make a comment to challenge Sheldon, not in terms of the idea. It's not provocative at all, Sheldon. I think we need to look at all those ideas as we move forward. If we don't, two things will happen. Number one is that more outside institutions are eating our lunch today, and they'll keep on eating it in online learning at all pieces. The second point is that we got to be really mindful of the fact that this requires a major shift. Online education means that an institution which would be designated would have to be able to let students enter at any one time in the system. For example, registration any month. Most important is to allow the students to complete courses at their own speed. So there's a whole shift in terms of not straitjacketing students in the semester system that comes with that. I'm sure Charlotte can comment more on that.
For sure, I didn't know where we disagreed. I just will give for the audience a bit of an example of something that I think works spectacularly well, and that is the sharing of library resources in Ontario in a digital way. Places like Ryerson would never, ever be able to do what it does without the cooperation and sharing. And so we have a great example of how, when we work together and where leadership is of resources are in a few areas but used by many, and that's what I meant. I'm not saying that every university won't do online. I'm saying who is going to be responsible for the acquisition, for bringing everyone together, that sees that they have a responsibility for prior learning assessment, a variety of things that where you and I will agree that start changing the culture of the community. And I think if it's spread and everyone is going to do their own thing, I think we will be much like Anne and the questioner before you described, not a system. We'll have a patchwork quilt where the different pieces don't fit together. So I don't think we disagree at all. My belief is it should be done the way we handle library digital products, and we have a good history of it and with good results.
Thanks. And we go until 11:30.